Okay, so you know how most of matter is actually dark matter, right? But we don't really know what it is. So, I had a big think about what dark matter could be, and I had a little theory that I came up with that could be a little bit crazy, could be a little bit interesting, that I want to share with you. First, I want to show you a clip from this show called Dr. Quantum, which kind of illustrates a 3D to 2D interaction.
He said, well, she's out in line.
From their 2D perspective, my 3D finger looks something like this.
What the letter does that?
As you can see, Dr. Quantum being in the 3D land, he has all of this fucking space, right? That the 2D cannot possibly perceive, and the 3D can completely see the 2D, and the 2D has no idea the 3D is even there. So what if in the 3D there's going to be 4D people or entities that can fully see into the 3D, and we have absolutely no idea that they're up there? Maybe that's dark matter. So now I want to show you a clip from this game called Miyagakure, which kind of illustrates the appearance of 4D.
If a 3D object visits the 2D plane, it appears to be deforming. In Miyagakure, a similar process happens, but in one higher dimension. Instead of taking a 2D slice of 3D objects, we are taking a 3D slice of 4D objects. It's hard to imagine, but luckily we don't have to. A computer can just display it for us. Surprisingly, in this scene, every crystal is the exact same shape, only facing different directions and slightly longer or shorter. And yet they all look so different because you only see a slice of each other.
So then I had a thought to myself, like, how do we get into the 4D? How do we perceive it? Well, I think, and this might be a bit woo-woo, but it's like we have to literally raise our frequency and our vibration to it, because we're literally not light enough as beings to perceive that level of reality. So while it's cool that we can make spaceships to go to Mars and stuff, like ultimately that will only help us explore the 3D better, but it won't take us to fourth dimension. And I think what space actually is kind of like mud, right? It's like you plant seeds into mud so that they sprout and they grow through the mud and out of the mud and into the rest of the world, into blue skies, right? And I think space is a similar thing, except the seeds are consciousness. The seeds are us, things that are conscious. And it's like eventually the consciousness needs to evolve to a point where it breaks the threshold of the 3D dimension and into the fourth dimensional reality in which we are conscious enough, our frequency is high enough to actually perceive it. Maybe dark matter shouldn't be called dark matter, but it should be called light matter, because it's like, imagine we're all in mud. Mud is very dark, right? When you get outside of the mud, the world is blue and it's colorful, right? So it's like, it's actually more like light matter. And maybe that's why when people trip out on psychedelics, they see all of these different colors, right? Is because they're perceiving a higher dimension.